Welcome to Countdown to Tiger Kickoff as we talk with the head coach of the East Texas Baptist University Tigers, Mark Sartain. Tigers finished out the season against Sullivan State University in Ornella Stadium. Last Saturday, the Tigers went up against the number 2 team in the nation, Mary Hardin Baylor, and lost to the Crew 54-20. Coach Sartain, we have to be honest, Crusaders are a very good football team, and despite the loss, I was pleased to see how your team played to the last tick of the ball game. They were really, well, there was no lack of effort by the Tigers.
Well, you know, UMHB's deservedly the number 2 team in the nation, and you know they've proven over the last several years that they're part of the cream of the crop in Division III nationwide. This is probably not the most talented team Coach Fredenberg's had, but it's certainly one of the best teams that he's had. There's just not very many weaknesses. They don't make mistakes. They don't give you additional opportunities. You know, I mean, even in the last couple of years, the teams would have a tendency to give you the ball back every now and then with a turnover. This team just refuses to do those sort of things, and that's what makes them a very difficult team to beat. And of course, we knew going in we'd have to limit our unforced errors, and of course we didn't do that very well. And teams like that just consistently snap in, snap out, quarter in, quarter out. You look up and you're down by 30.
Now, you had some players that had some good ball games in that game. One, offensively, Roy Butler, once again, over 100 yards receiving yards in the ball game from 7 catches, had a long of 57. In that 57, I thought he was going to break that one like he did the previous week against Mississippi College.
Yeah, Roy is, once again, just like we mentioned last week, has done a great job filling in for Kwame, and you know, the mark of a true competitor is when they get their opportunity, they make the most of it, and Roy's certainly done that. And we did have some bright spots. You know, we had some bright spots in the kicking game, a place that's kind of plagued us the last couple of years against these guys. They've upended us last year, took a lead, and wound up beating us after we were ahead late in the third quarter, or into the third quarter, primarily on special teams miscues and big plays. And this year we eliminated those. We really felt like we played them well. On the defensive side of the ball, we felt like we played hard all night long. We actually did what we set out to do. We took the ball out of Ladero's hands, who was their leading rusher going in. We refused to let him beat us with him. Of course, they're a talented football team, and they turned to other areas. And, of course, we had the 2 pick sixes. You know, anytime you give up 14 points to their defense, it's a little tough to overcome.
On your defensive side of the ball, Dylan Bethea, once again, a great game, 14 tackles. He's just a football player, isn't he?
Well, he is an exceptional football player. We knew that last year, even as a freshman. Lost him for a couple of games early with a little concussion issue. But we've known all along the type of player he is. He's a very aggressive, very physical, very passionate player, and will be for good time to come.
I want to deviate a little bit from our normal format on Countdown to Tiger Kickoff. Normally we take a time here to talk about a coach and your staff and 2 players from East Texas, but since this is the last game of the season and last home game, I want to give you an opportunity to go down the list of the senior players that you have on your roster and just kind of tell me something about them real quickly as we go through those names. First up, number 1, Kwame Spikes.
Well, Kwame, number 1 in your program, number 1 in your heart. He's an incredible young man, certainly one of the best receivers in our conference. It's been a pleasure to watch him advance and grow as a player and as a young man for these last 4 years. One of the 9 guys that we have that have spent their entire career here with us. And going to hate to see Kwame go, and just wish him the very best and want him to go out on a big note today.
Number 3, your quarterback, Seth Hubbard.
Seth's another one of the 9, you know, that's been here his entire career, came in after an attempt at basketball and decided he loved the sport of football, and kind of waited in the wings for a couple of years and backed up, and it's been his show this year. Seth's shown himself to be an accomplished quarterback. He's going to be a tremendous coach, and already is actually working full-time and doing those sorts of things, and very, very proud to have had him in our program, and, you know, proud of what he's accomplished.
And a name I like to say from the booth because it's kind of different. Number 14, Colin Bishke.
Colin Bishke. You know, Colin's got to be one of the favorites. You know, he's a very quiet young man, very devoted young man, very strong leader. Has been since he arrived here 4 years ago. Another one of the 9 that have been here all 4. Colin's probably one of the best football players I've ever coached, pound for pound. He just understands the game. He has a passion for it. He's a tremendously hard worker and has always got the right attitude.
Number 17, Buford Alfonso.
It's Alfonso Buford.
Oh, got it back.
That's all right. Alfonso joined us this past summer from Mississippi, and came in to finish up his eligibility with us. And here these last 2 or 3 weeks has really been a major contributor to our offense. He's been a tremendous young man to have in the program, worked very hard to get here, devoted to the team and to finishing his career on the right foot.
Number 21, Clyde Omiasi.
Yeah, Clyde's another one of the nasty nine, or whatever you might want to call these guys that have been here all 4 years. Clyde had a little setback early in the year, came in as our starting corner, broke a finger early in camp and early in the season, and has really just the last 3 or 4 games has been able to kind of find his stride once again, and he's a very talented player. We're gonna hate to see Clyde go.
Another senior on your roster from Center, Texas, number 23, Alex Cloudy.
Alex is another one of the nasty nine, and probably not have I ever coached a young man who's made any more progress personally through the 4 years that he's been here as I've seen Alex make. There's not another player on our team that I'm more proud of, and really that has nothing to do with his ability or his performance. He's an incredible player, could start for anybody in our conference. I believe Alex could play beyond ETBU, and but I'm most proud of what he's become as a young man, the leader that he's become, and the integrity that he's displayed over the last 6-8 months in his time here.
Continuing down your senior list of players, number 25, Jordan Hayes.
Jordan was a young man, came here as a freshman, as a safety, took a trip back to Central Texas to home and decided he liked it here and came back and has finished his career here. Jordan is always one that has been a leader, a vocal leader, an inspirational leader, tenacious worker in the weight room and on the field. It's going to be unusual to not come to a huddle and getting the team up and him not be one in there that's chattering and shaking him up and getting ready to go. He's a great young man, has had a great career.
Next, number 32, Mark Gray.
Another one of those 9. Mark has really come into his own these last 2 seasons. We saw it late last year as he, really began to, I think, take football more seriously, and then of course this year as a senior, he's been a mainstay for us, a starter, one we can count on. It's become very consistent on the field for us. Mark's one that had a little trouble figuring out the importance of his academics his first couple of years here, but I think has really matured and made some tremendous strides there.
Another one of your linemen, number 75, James Fugate, who was the Servant Leadership Award winner this year at ETBU, a very fine young man. Tell us about him.
Actually been the Servant Leadership Award twice and has actually won the conference Community Service Award once. The bone marrow donor, been on mission trips with us. James is kind of the class clown when it comes to the team is concerned. He's always joking and cutting up, but everybody knows James' heart is for people. He's very compassionate, and he's been injured the last couple of weeks. Is working real hard right now to get back on the field today to finish his career, and James has been just a pleasure to have around.
From Mount Pleasant, number 86, Chad Bowers.
Yeah, another one. Chad, came to us as a big skinny tight end out of Mount Pleasant High School, and he's still a big skinny tight end. But got married this past summer. Chad's been our deep snapper for 3 years and done a great job with that. And gotten to catch a few more balls this year than normal. Has really performed well. Chad is another one that's just a tremendous example of the kind of young men that we have in this program. Those that no one would be ashamed to have them represent them.
Next senior is Buddy Elmore, number 87. Interesting story behind this young man.
Yeah, Buddy was a baseball player last year, finished his eligibility for baseball, and had another semester of eligibility remaining. Wanted to give football a shot, hadn't played since high school. Told me he was a deep snapper, and bless his heart, Buddy has had some hard luck this year, but I tell you what, there's not a more pleasant young man in the world than Buddy Elmore, and he's just been an encouragement to me throughout the course of this season. He's always got a great attitude. Suffered a shoulder dislocation early, missed 2 or 3 weeks, and then got a concussion late, was dealing with migraine headaches about the time we wanted to use him a little more. But I think he's benefited from just being around the team, and I know we benefited from him being around.
Last senior on your roster, number 95, Chris Hendricks.
Chris was a transfer from us. He was originally, grew up and played in Houston high school, but was out in California at a junior college. Came to us 3 years ago. Chris plays for me down in the defensive line, and we've developed a great relationship. Chris is just an incredible young man, very fun to be around, full of life, and very positive. Chris is going to be a very successful young man in whatever he chooses to do.
All right, we've gone through the seniors on the roster playing their last game at Ornelas for the last game of the season. Let's talk about your opponent now, Sul Ross State University. Sul Ross 4-5 on the season, and when you look at the 4 wins they've had, they have scored 58 points or more, which is kind of not normal for a Sul Ross team. What are they doing different?
Well, they've completely sold out to the spread offense, and they've got the people to run it. They got some incredibly gifted wide receivers. They've got a very talented young quarterback that they brought in this year. Well, I think he may have been on the roster last year. I'm not sure. And of course, they've got the Carson kid back at running back. And the very nature of their offense is to spread the field, is to require you to cover every inch of grass out there, which gives a young man like Carson a lot to work with inside. And he's tough to handle. He's explosively quick, fast, and strong little back. We've been able to hold in check the last couple of years, primarily because of their scheme. This year, the scheme is played to his favor, and they're the #1 rated offensive team statistically in the nation right now, and they've scored a ton of points this year.
Keys that the Tigers have to do for a victory?
Well, our offense has got to match. We've got to be able to move the ball into the red zone and take advantage of every opportunity we get. We've got to eliminate any additional opportunities for them. And that means we can't turn the ball over to them. We can't have to line up and punt it back to them. We want to minimize their snaps and maximize our time of possession and our efficiency in the red zone.
Well, Coach, best of the Tigers as you face Sul Ross State University.
Thanks, Mike.
Tigers and Sul Ross State, final game of the year.